the possibility of the magazine going online soon?
I get that question quite a bit. There's a couple of issues with that. The first issue that we have is the fact that the size of the magazine, I've tried some tests on making it electronic, and the smallest I can get it to is about, I don't know if anybody understands sizes, megabytes, gigabytes, all of that, but it's about 50 megabytes in size for the magazine in its most compressed format, which is pretty restrictive for a lot of people to be able to do, even with you know, some standard DSL. That's a pretty large file. The other issue is, and we've talked about this quite a bit in the past, is that your membership dollar has a value to it. A lot of people join the organization just to get that magazine every month. And if we start putting the magazine out there for free for people, we're going to have people that say they're not going to join because I can get it for free. And I have had that comment on several occasions.
It doesn't have to be for free. You can put it on the line, you can put it on the site, and have password.
Well, that introduces the complexities of creating a password-protected login for every member of the organization into the website. And there's SSL security. Well, I'm not going to get into it, but there's security issues with the code for the website code that the website is done with, that we would have to rewrite some of that to do that in order to be able to have a login for people to be able to get the access to that. It's a little complicated, and it's a little bit beyond my understanding. It doesn't seem complicated to you? I mean, have you done that before?
Yeah, we got where you have to log on and have a secure site, have pre-authorization, you can get on the site. You can do it on Yahoo, on Yahoo Groups.
Well, yeah, I mean, the Yahoo obviously is a large corporation, but the website obviously.
Some on that line.
We've got, what, 25,000 members, 26,000 members, something like that, so we would have to be able to let them have access to that and provide them with login to that. And we would have to have then generate a password database for that membership through the website as well, too, to give them authorized access to it. Does that make sense to you?
Well, yeah.
But I'm not saying it's out of the question. It's just beyond my capabilities at this point right now. I'm not saying it's never going to happen. It could happen in the next year, 2 years, whatever. But at this point right now, I can't do that myself. I don't have. Well, I don't have the knowledge to be able to do that. I try to teach myself how to do these things, and I do talk with some of the members that donate the time to do that. But I know it's capable. There's a capability of doing it, and there's options of doing it. But at this point right now, I don't see it in the near future. Okay. Now back to the photos. I think we basically covered all of the other things. Don't email photos. Yeah. Okay. Next thing I want to talk about is getting your events into the magazine. Basically, either we do the flyers for your events or you guys do your own flyers for your events. It's kind of the way we get our little flyers out there. We're either doing them, Cindy's doing them here in the office, or you're doing them yourselves. If you do them yourselves, you send them copies of them into us. We'll make sure we get them on the website. We'll get them into the magazine. We'll get all of that covered. We even put copies of them up on the website, which I'll touch on a little bit later here too. If Cindy does the flyer for you, that automatically gets taken care of. If she's doing the flyers, it'll automatically get included into everything. So just remember, if you're doing your own flyers, make sure to send us a copy of it so that we've got it at the office and we can put it in the magazine on the website, and then have copies available in the office for people as well too.
Can I ask Cindy something? Is she going to talk?
Yeah, she's going to talk here. If I can get through this, you can ask her. And the flyers also include that includes like the upcoming events list. That's where the flyer information is derived from. It goes into there. It also goes to the beginning of regional news, where you have the events listed under the meetings. We put the information in there as well. And then, like I said, we also put that information on the website. And then we have the quarterly event guide, which comes out, as the name is, quarterly. Every 3 months, we put flyers for your events in the magazine. As you've all noticed, it's usually January April, July, and October, I think it is. Keep in mind that you've got to stick to deadlines on that. In order to get that in, it's very important that you get the information in on deadlines. And if you, the second quarterly event guide, which is the April, May, June, is the worst of the year, because that's when we've got the biggest, the largest quantity of events for the year fall in that April, May, June period. This year, I believe we had close to 60 event flyers in that event guide section. And Cindy had to do a good percentage of those herself, and a lot of them came in at the last minute under the deadline to try to get in there. So she has to create a flyer, get it approved, get everything finalized, and then get it in the magazine in about a 2-3 week period of time. So keep that in mind for those events, especially new officers. If you're planning stuff for it, start to communicate and get that information to Cindy so we can make sure that we can schedule that in and get it done ahead of time. Now, I'm going to touch on things that we can't print in the magazine. This follows back on some of the things that we have talked about all day today. We can't run political endorsements in the magazine, so we can't endorse candidates because of our nonprofit status. So in your letters, try to avoid putting some kind of political candidate endorsements in your letters. You've got to try to keep that out of it. Same thing when you're writing your letters about anything that has to do with gaming. We can't talk about 50-50 cash drawings, raffles, door prizes. We have to keep all that stuff out of it, so try to work around that. The porker run concept is fine, don't say poker run. We try to edit that and keep that out of there as much as possible, but if you can save us from that trouble in the first place, that would be very helpful, so try to avoid those things. Big question that I have, and this is something I've noticed more and more lately, is I'm not sure what happened. Maybe it's just kind of a transitional thing or what, but how do you spell ABATE? How is ABATE spelled?
All capital letters.
No periods.
With or without periods, ABATE is always all capital letters. ABATE is an acronym, so it's always all caps. I'm starting to see people having banners made and signs made and capital A, lowercase b, A-T-E. It's always capital letters, so always remember that whenever you're putting anything into print. Okay, we're going to move on to the website real quick. Chuck, was that you? What did I hit?
You had no sound.
Was there sound on that? There is no sound. Okay. The website obviously allows us to provide 24/7 access to ABATE of Indiana information and resources. Everything ABATE we try to make sure is on there. That includes all of materials for the officers, forms, applications, the guidebook. We try to include all of that stuff up there. There's an officer's menu on there that you've got a place to download forms, some Excel spreadsheets for budgets, PDF files, things like that. So a lot of the forms that are in your guidebook are also available to download from the website. Keep that in mind. We also have a new section in there where you can do flyer submission information on the website under the officer's menu, and also t-shirt request information under that same menu. So it's a great resource for you. There's also legislative resources. Okay, I'll try to move through here. I think we're doing okay on time. Cindy doesn't like to talk much anyway. So just make sure that the website's always a good 24/7 resource for you for information.